Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my review of the death battle between Shredder and the Silver Samurai. For those of you that are new to these reviews, I focus less on the animation and humor of Death Battle and instead focus on the research and critical analysis. You see, I wish to improve my own research and critical analysis capabilities, and these prediction and review videos are a perfect way for me to do so. This video will consist of me going over what I got wrong in my prediction, what I got right, and then what I learned. Let's begin. First, what I got wrong. Shredder won the death battle. Alas, while this isn't overwhelmingly shocking, it's still very disappointing. I knew that both characters could win this match with a single strike, which made speed the deciding factor, and I thought that Silver Samurai was the faster of the two. Unfortunately, this was not the case. And even more unfortunately, there wasn't anything I could have done to avoid making this mistake. You see, normally when I get these matches wrong, it stems from some sort of error in my analysis. Like I miscalculate something, or I place too much emphasis on some advantage, or something like that. But this time I was wrong solely because I missed a feat. Sure, they may have mentioned some extra details in Shredder's favor, but make no mistake, the sole reason he won was because he was faster. And he was faster because of some random speed feat in some random episode of some random series. And I simply did not have enough time to watch every episode of every series. Let me give you guys some context on what I mean. Due to my schedule, I only have about 16 days to research every death battle, which means I only had about 8 days to research the Shredder. I could only spend about 8 hours per day researching, which means that in total, I could devote about 64 hours to the Shredder. Now, in order to fully research the Shredder, I would have to cover 4 movies, 18 video games, over 100 comic book issues, and a whopping 333 individual episodes of various television series. Covering just the episodes would have taken at least 111 hours, nearly double the amount of time I had available. And that's just the shows. So I was literally incapable of researching all of the Shredder's history in the time I had available to me. To be clear, I tried. I covered all of the movies, all of the games, all of the comic books, and with what little time I had left, I skimmed over the television series. But that just wasn't enough. Because I didn't cover everything, because I didn't find one random feat in one of the hundreds of episodes, I got my prediction wrong. That is incredibly disappointing, because there's nothing I could have done better. To be clear, I made mistakes in my prediction. My analysis was far from perfect. But what's frustrating is that even if my analysis had been pitch perfect, even if I had flawlessly analyzed all the data that was available to me, I still would have gotten it wrong. Because I was missing information that I had no means of acquiring. I'm not mad, I'm not upset with Death Battle or the characters, and I have no issue with the outcome of the match. I guess I'm just sad, because this situation forced me to realize that my absolute best isn't enough. And I trust you can understand why that would be a tad depressing. Regardless, that's why Shredder won and why I missed it. Now for my more avoidable mistakes. I missed a number of feats from the more recent TMNT cartoons, but that doesn't really concern me. I don't mind missing feats as long as they're not game-changing, and aside from the faster than eyesight speed feat, none of the ones I missed from the cartoons were all that significant. Also, while they did say that technically Sam had more impressive strength feats, they meant it when they said technically. Technically, Shredder has never lifted anything as heavy as the things Sam has lifted, but Shredder cut through steel, and they mentioned that in the sidebar. This says to me that Death Battle and I were on the same page, and thus I remain confident in my analysis of Shredder's strength. However, there was a legitimate analysis mistake that I made which bears mentioning. When I was analyzing Silver Samurai's feat of cutting that one bullet in half, I judged it to be moving about 1,051.36 miles per hour, or 1,542 feet per second. By contrast, Death Battle found that the bullet was traveling at 1,400 feet per second. I made my judgment based off of the design of the gun, which was one of my mistakes. You see, the speed a bullet travels at has nothing to do with the gun it's fired from. Guns are just glorified aiming tools. They do not propel the bullets propel themselves via their cartridges. Each type of cartridge has its own firing velocity. So my choice to incorrectly focus on the gun rather than the bullet was one reason for why my results differed from Death Battle's. Another reason was that I decided to compare the gun being used to Desert Eagles, which was, frankly, very stupid. A much more logical approach I could have taken would have been to simply research what guns are used by the Yakuza in reality, and having now done that, I can confirm that Death Battle's results line up with reality far better than mine did. And while we're discussing misinterpreted speed feats, in my prediction I said that this feat, in which Shredder deflects this Psy, was not superhuman. However, after thinking about it some more and discussing it with some people, I realized that, yeah, this is totally superhuman. Humans simply do not have the reaction speed necessary to deflect something like this without warning, so my bad. And that's just about everything I got wrong. Now for what I got right. My research and analysis of Silver Samurai was pretty solid. I knew about everything that Death Battle mentioned regarding his capabilities, and while my research and analysis of Shredder's speed was significantly lacking, my coverage of the rest of his capabilities was fairly passable. Now for what I learned. I learned a valuable lesson regarding the correct way to go about researching feats involving guns. And my other major lesson was that I cannot always research everything for these death battles. Sometimes I will not have enough time, sometimes I'll just not be able to get my hands on some movie or game or whatever. So, in my future predictions, I will try and remember to mention how much research I was able to get done, so that way you guys will know how much of the picture I am able to give you. In addition, I think I'm going to add a new segment to my predictions in which I play the devil's advocate and describe how I think the other character could win. What I mean is that, in future predictions, I will cover both characters, give my prediction, and then describe how I could be wrong and how the other character, the one I'm rooting against, could win. For example, let's say that I had done this for Shredder vs. Silver Samurai. I would have given my prediction and said how I think Silver Samurai has a 70% chance of winning or whatever, and then I would say, now here's how I could see the Shredder coming out on top. And I would then say something like, I didn't cover all of the cartoon series, so it's possible he has some feats in there that could turn the tide. Like, maybe he has some speed feats in which he blocks bullets or something. And so on and so forth. I think adding this segment to my predictions would be rather healthy, as it will ensure that I give both sides of the debate some extra consideration. Not to mention, it's always valuable to acknowledge any potential faults in one's arguments. Anyway, that's everything I learned, which means we've reached the end of the video. Before I sign out, I feel the need to address the next death battle, and more importantly, whether I'm actually going to do a prediction for it. As it stands, this seems like far too troll a fight for me to do a serious prediction on. Like, this is clearly a joke death battle. Yes, I know there are no joke death battles. Every episode has serious research and analysis on the part of Screw Attack, but that doesn't make it any less of a joke. Like, Starscream vs. Rainbow Dash didn't happen because people the world over had a vested interest in finding out who would win. It happened because it was a funny joke. Same thing here. Except this time, not many people are going to get the joke. These are exclusively American characters. They were created by the US government to be mascots for ad campaigns. So a lot of people aren't even going to know who these characters are. Heck, even among the people who know these characters, most won't really care about this matchup. Not enough to look up prediction videos about it. Like, I'm pretty sure that most, if not all, of the people who requested this matchup did so in a joke capacity. Like, they requested it because they thought it would be funny, not because they seriously care about the results. So, yeah, I feel like doing a prediction would be a waste of my time. However, I could be totally wrong. Maybe I'm the weird one and everyone else really cares about this match. So I want to hear some serious feedback from you guys. Let me know in the comments below whether you actually care about this matchup, and if you do care, let me know if you care about it as a serious match or as a joke. And of course, let me know if you want me to do a prediction or not. And keep in mind, if I don't do a prediction, I will be making other videos. Like, there's a serious chance that I will do a top 14 Death Battles of Season 3 video if I skip this prediction. So keep that in mind. I'm not necessarily putting this up to a vote. I'm probably not going to do a prediction, but I still seriously want to hear what you guys have to say. With all that said, I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Like if you enjoyed the video, comment if you got something to say, subscribe if you want to see more, and as always, have a fantastic day.